Anything you'd like to add?
Land Cruiser is better.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel Builtprado. Today we're doing a video of the 100 series versus the Prado 90. What's better for your money, your family situation, your life situation? Which one should you buy if you've got the money? Now, in this video, I'm going to compare these exact cars pretty much, but we're going to pretend they're stock. So this is actually a 4.5 litre straight six. Now this is a gas LPG petrol car, so not the diesel, I'm sorry. And then this is obviously the petrol LPG as well, 3.4 litre V6. So both 6 cylinders, both LPG gas, both Toyotas, both full drives. So we're going to run through everything and we're going to figure out what's best for your family and your situation, whether you should get more of a hardcore four-wheel drive and a big sort of huge car, or something a bit more smaller and nimbler and lighter, but IFS at the front. So I'll run through some statistics and yeah, we'll see which one you should get. Alright guys, we're going to go straight into Driveline. So as we know, solid front end axle in the, well this is 105 series for this scenario. Obviously you can get the 100 series and other models that have the CVs and IFS. So we're going to compare the better version in this video, and then obviously IFS at the front, no solid front axle there. So if you're into hardcore four-wheel driving, boom, there's when you want more flex. These tow better and you can have high lifts in them and it controls them better. But this on the road, this drives a lot better on the road. It's just like driving a normal car, so more comfy on road and touring. And then this is better if you want to tow and go really hardcore off-road. So, but steering is quite heavy and slow in these sort of cars here. So that's the front of the Driveline. Now obviously you've got coils all around, no lifts in any of these, not like the 76 wagons. So they both have pretty good ride comfort height, and obviously because they're coils in the rear, whatever they tow it will sag, and whatever weight you put in the back it will sag a bit. So obviously this can tow 3.5 ton, it's an absolute beast, whereas this can tow roughly about 2 ton, maybe like 2.5. You wouldn't really go more than that, just because this car is probably like, I think this car is about 700 kilos heavier than this one, because this comes under 2 ton from factory. And obviously you need more weight on the car itself to be able to tow more as well. Now they're both ladder frame chassis, so that's the exact same. And yeah, obviously probably both made on the same factory floor as well. Now seats in the car. This Prado, this 1996 model, actually came with 8 seats. Now majority of the sort of the newer Prado 90s, like the 2000 era, they came with only 7 seats, which is fair enough because the middle far back seat is probably about this wide, it's tiny. And obviously your big 100 here also came with 8 seats. So in terms of if you've got a family of 8 and you're like, oh I don't know, both got 8 seaters, so that sort of levels itself out a bit there. But if anything, these would have 7 seaters. Now the aftermarket support for these cars, as you can see I've got a few stuff on this car, and obviously you can get lights and that stuff, but I'm talking about like flares and more specific things for the car. Now I'm going to say they're pretty much the same. If anything, the 100 series might have a bit more support than this because this car's a bit old now. But as you can see, you can still you can get flares for this. You can just do anything to it. And the 100 series is obviously, there's heaps of them out there, and you can get tail lights, bull bars, like so much stuff for them. Towing mirrors, like you can't even get these for this car. They're from 80 series. So even that in itself is proof that there's more markets for these than these. Alright, now in terms of factory, your 100 series is way more capable than a Prado, okay? Now, not only has it got solid front axle, but obviously all the suspension components are bigger. Like the springs on these are like huge compared to the old Prado here. So these have a lot more flex, a lot more capability, and heaps more room inside the guards and in the front that you can easily fit 35s. You can't fit that on a Prado unless you do like 5-inch lift like I have. So heaps more mods capability on these cars from factory. Now as you can see, Prado's got spare wheel on the back, and the 100 series, that's an aftermarket accessory. Normally it's under the car, but in this car the gas tank's fitted there, so that's been overridden. So in terms of wheel type, like access, this is better. And then obviously you got your tailgate and barn door design, so if that's something you need to consider, that's another thing. It's easier to pull back in the car of a barn door than a tailgate from experience. But obviously you can get the 100 series with a barn door as well. But that's a lower range model and you don't even have power windows. So up to you what you want to do with that. Alright, so Prado 90 interior, pretty standard. You've got your handle here, that's only in the earlier models. And then you've just got your center console here. And like you can just look in camera and see what's going on pretty much. But automatic, and then you got your dash up there, pretty standard. There's your seats. It's not obviously not as wide as a Land Cruiser, like the distance between here is quite small, but if we jump in the 100 series, you'll see that the distance, it might not show on camera, the distance between here and here is a lot further away. It's just sitting here and here, you're a lot further away than in my car. And then obviously the interior is slightly more updated. It's all plastic and automatic as well, and like the same, pretty much almost the same gear knob as well. And then there's your petrol gas down there. So pretty similar. This has an airbag, mine doesn't, but a lot of the Grande models of mine had an airbag. But floor room is pretty similar. It's funny, I'd almost say the Prado has more floor room than that. And they both got pretty high roofs. Mine definitely has a high roof because I'm a tall guy and I fit really well. And you can just sort of see the interior in there. It's got heaps of handles like mine as well, obviously being a wagon. And then yeah, if you don't hop in mine, you can see that my roof is quite high as well. But because the car, it's just an older car, the interior isn't as nicely updated as that one. Alright, engines. Now, I skimmed over it before, but if we're going to talk about kilometers and the longevity of the motors, obviously the 1HD FTE in this car is insane. That's the 4.5 litre diesel. Now that's like bulletproof motor and they're really expensive, but they will go the distance. But in this case we've got the petrol, so we're going to talk about this car. Now this motor is actually, obviously it's a huge motor, and it's obviously working at like 1/5 of its capability, which means it's very low torque and it's going to go the distance because it's not overstressing like those 2 litre Ford Rangers you get, or the Raptors. They're rubbish. So pretty much this will go the distance, and it's been proven as well. These do, like, we're talking like 500,000 Ks, no worries. But now the Prado, I'm sure you Prado guys out there will also know that the 5EZ FE, I think it is, the 3.4 litre, that also does, they do 500,000 Ks, no worries as well. So you got a 3.4 litre V6, and the group on Facebook, people are always posting, oh, hit a 500,000 Ks, 600,000 Ks. So this motor is also no worries, but this is coming from me who owns this motor would go longer, go the distance over that, I think it would. But these are definitely these aren't messing around either. These are going really far. And this motor's done like 280, so I've got another 300,000 Ks in it. So yeah, definitely don't be understated. These motors go a long time, and I think these will go a bit further because, and also it's the Land Cruiser series. These are the kids versions of this. This is the car you want. But if we're talking about size, this car is so wide. For practicality, going to car parks and stuff, don't get this, get this. My mum drives this, and one of her friends has one as well, and her advice is when you go to Coles, park far away from the front of the shop because it's such a big car to drive around and maneuver, which makes sense compared to this. This is quite a lot smaller, maybe like 200 mil almost smaller, so a lot more movability and a lot easier to get around those corners. So that's just another thing to consider if you're buying one. Alright guys, price. Now, through these weird COVID times, we're going to do prices before COVID and now because it's just funny. So I bought this for 5.5 grand. Alright, now this is easily worth like 15. Now, that's just because of the COVID tax mostly. But I bought this on the lower spectrum of the market, so the cars are there on roughly about 7 grand at COVID times. Now these are about 10 grand, 10 to 15 grand. So, but now if you want to get one of these for yourself, and we're going to go for roughly 200,000 Ks. So not 400,000, 200,000. So if you were to buy a stock Prado 90, 200,000 Ks, petrol, this model, you're looking anywhere between 8 and 12 grand. All right, good luck. Now, this car over here, you're looking about 200,000 Ks as well, petrol, looking anywhere from like 12 on upwards to maybe 20. So you sort of get the idea, all the prices have gone up, and all the Toyota cars have gone up as well in their own brand. So obviously that's great that this is now worth more and stuff, but if you're trying to sell one and buy one, you're going to be selling high, buying high, unless you got mate, sorry, cheap. But yeah, so pretty much these have gone up in value, and that's how much money you're looking to spend at. So obviously Land Cruiser is more, but you get more of a car, you get better off-road capability, bit more hard to maneuver around the city, but if you like driving to Port Lincoln or like long holiday trips, us that have a family of 6, we've managed to all fit in here nicely and nice and spaced and nice and comfortable. It's very comfortable and they're very quiet considering, and heaps of leg room, and you can just drive on distance. If we did that exact same trip in the Prado here, wouldn't it be as nice? Bit more squeaks and rattles. It is an older car, had a harder life than this one. This used to be on a farm, but the interior is a lot more. Everything's obviously small and squished in because it's not as a big wide car, and which means you're a bit more on each other. So it's very hard to decide, I guess. But if you want off-road and you want to be able to tow and you want to be able to go the distance on big camp trips and you don't mind maneuverability and petrol costs, this is your car, and you've got a bit more money. If you want something that's good to drive around in the city, can do off-road stuff but doesn't have to be ridiculous, can tow like a little boat or just like a trailer, not like a 4-ton trailer, I'll go with this. And obviously, like, Prado is meant to be a bit more of a family wagon, less of a full, like, hardcore full drive, and the Land Cruiser line is obviously more of the hardcore full drive. So it's a very hard decision to make, but obviously I've gone with this one. At the time, that was just a price thing. Like, this was $5.5 grand. That's quite cheap. So I guess if you're at home, you're watching this, you're like, what do I go for? I think if you've got a big family and you're going to be long distance drives and stuff, and you're not too worried about like petrol and gas prices, I'd probably go with this one, definitely. And you can't go wrong getting a Land Cruiser. But yeah, if you just want something that's a bit more, just drive around every now and then, drive on the dirt tracks, I'd probably get one of these right here. Okay guys, now rear storage in the boot of the 100 series, 105 versus the Prado. Obviously, it's a way bigger car, way more space, and you've also got 3 seats. Bigger than my car though, a lot wider. Now if you come in here, I'm not sure if it shows in camera, but this is heaps of cargo space. You'd almost get a pallet in here if it wasn't for wheel arches. But obviously with the tailgate, you have to sit on here and lean in heaps fast, so it's really hard to reach back there. If you're a bit of an older person and you don't want to reach in every single day, I'd almost go for the Prado for the tailgate. But as you can see, heaps of space in here, and these are often used as touring rigs. You get your fridge and all your drawer system there, no worries. So now follow me, we're going to go to my Prado. Now as you can see, in here I do have a setup for work, but as you can see I've managed to fit 3 drawers and a fridge just fine, and it's not even to the roof. So I could actually go higher, put more stuff in there, and obviously with this sort of door, you get your tables on there and all those mods. So, but it's not as deep. And it's also 3-seater, but see how I can, imagine I wanted to get something in the boot, I can just grab it, like, because there's not as much car leaning over. So that's just something to consider. Alright guys, thanks for watching, hope that made sense, hope you got something out of it. If you're in the market and you don't know, Prado 90, 100 series Land Cruiser, you've heard my opinion, I would go for the 100 series, but Prado 90 is also a great car and will go the distance as well. So if your budget's high, go for a Land Cruiser like my dad here. If your budget's average, Prado. Anything you'd like to add?
Land Cruiser is better.
Land Cruiser is better. Alright, thanks guys. Cheers. See you next time. Woo!